From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Sunday, March 23rd. I'm Max Darrow. Here's a look at what's happening around the Bay today. In just a few hours, the VTA's Board of Directors will hold a special closed session meeting with union leaders in the South Bay. Now, this comes as the VTA strike has reached the 2-week mark. A vote on a new contract is on hold until after 10 o'clock's meeting today. Both sides are also due in court on Wednesday. A judge has temporarily denied VTA's request for a restraining order to stop the strike. The Oakland Marathon happens this morning. More than 10,000 people are expected to run through the town today. Along with the full 26.2-mile race, there is a half marathon, 10K, and a 5K. It starts and ends at Lake Merritt Boulevard. Multiple road closures are in effect at this hour. Some of them will last until 2 o'clock this afternoon. This is the Oakland Marathon's 16th year. We have a warm-up on the way, and First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz is here to usher in the new start of this Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. If you thought yesterday was nice.
It's fantastic. I went out to Ocean Beach. It was great.
Right. It's going to be even warmer today. Although Ocean Beach and places closer to the coast, you might be dealing with some more cloud coverage, and you might be dealing with those slightly cooler conditions, but it's what we expect here in the Bay Area. Inland communities, you'll be in the 70s this afternoon as high pressure continues to build overhead. I showed you yesterday where we're seeing a little bit more of that moisture streaming across the northern parts of California. But now look, that area of high pressure. It was sitting in the central Pacific. It is now nudged on over to southern parts of California, and it's going to continue to impact us again for the next several days. So get out today, get out tomorrow, get out Tuesday, as the next 3 days are going to stay well above average. Monday and Tuesday, though, likely going to be the peak of this heat wave. So even though today is going to be warm, tomorrow it's only going to get warmer from here. High temperatures this afternoon, like I said, going to be in the 70s across our inland communities and down into the Santa Clara Valley. We'll be in the mid to upper 60s here in San Francisco, and then upper 50s to low 60s closer to the coast. Like I said, there is going to be just a little bit more cloud coverage hanging on closer to our coastal communities. A little bit of fog this morning in our inland areas will begin to lift, but as you can see, the cloud coverage closer to the coast definitely keeping those temperatures cooler, but everybody is going to begin to see more sunshine and warmer temperatures tomorrow. I'll let you know exactly how warm it's going to get and where coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
Thank you, Zoe. Live sports action is back at the Oakland Coliseum. The Oakland Roots soccer team hit the pitch for a sold-out game in front of 26,000 fans. Amanda Harry was there to capture the excitement of the Roots, planting new roots in Oakland.
Since the Oakland A's last game here in September, the Coliseum has remained largely empty. But starting today, they have a new tenant, and there's Roots signage all over to make it known. Bay native Steve Brown says he's grateful to be sitting in the Coliseum once again, as well as tailgating before games.
Al, this is my home. This is my second home. The smell, the seasons of tailgates, of all the sports, and just the love of Oakland.
Brown grew up in this parking lot. He attended hundreds of games going back to the 70s. Warriors, Raiders, and of course, the A's.
We were at the last A's game. It's a very sorrowful day. We stayed until the sun was going down.
He says that night, he didn't know if he'd ever tailgate in this lot again, until the Roots announced they'd play at the Coliseum for the 2025 season. Brown was ecstatic.
When I heard that, it was like, oh my gosh, I can go back to the Coliseum and tailgate again with my kids.
Andrew Stasium was also tailgating with his son. They've followed the Roots for years, but never expected them to play at such a historic site.
What was your reaction?
Amazing.
Surprised. I couldn't believe it. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good season for them. I can feel it.
Stasium's son, Nick, trains with some of the players and has big aspirations for the future.
Would you want to be a Root one day?
Yeah.
The team also used this first game as an opportunity to spotlight a player who built a legacy at the Coliseum. Former A's left fielder and Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson by retiring jersey number 24. Henderson died of a pneumonia at the age of 65 in December.
Doing a tribute today for Ricky during the 24th minute, so I had to wear his jersey. When I read that, I was like, oh, I know what I'm wearing.
Brown also wore his Raiders hat to represent that part of the Coliseum's history. And of course, he threw in a little bit of the Roots.
And I got the scarf. Thank you.
Brown hopes this is just the beginning of a new chapter for the Oakland Coliseum.
I hope that we can still tailgate here in the Coliseum for many years to come, to pass it on to new generations.
The Roots aren't done here at the Coliseum just yet. This was the first of at least 17 games here. If they make it to the playoffs, there may be even more.
To the South Bay now, hundreds packed a middle school gym in Santa Clara to vent their concerns about what's going on in Washington, D.C. Congressman Khanna hosted the event, who tried to address some of the frustrations shared by his constituents. Da Lin has the story.
Why are they not?
Well, many of them are getting there.
From anger,
Our democracy is falling apart right now, and they're not doing it.
to frustration,
Why are you acting like things are normal?
to fear.
I am so frightened. What is Congress going to do for us? What are you going to do for us?
Those are just some of the emotions and questions directed at Congressman Khanna. Laura is a breast cancer survivor who's getting long-term cancer care. She worries the Trump administration will slash funding to Medicaid and Medicare.
The care I get is life and death. So by getting the care, I'm able to survive. If I don't get the care, I may be facing serious health emergency. I could lead to my death.
President Trump says he will not cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid benefits, but they would eliminate waste and fraud in those programs. Laura and Representative Khanna don't buy it. The congressman says since Democrats are minorities in the House and Senate, they need Republican votes.
These cuts have not gone into effect yet in terms of Medicaid or Medicare. We have to push in these Republican areas. There are 212 Democrats who are opposed to these cuts. We just need 3. We need 3 Republicans. It's a flip.
Congressman Khanna spoke to a packed school auditorium in Santa Clara. Roughly 800 people attended the town hall. Many South Bay voters who couldn't get inside left.
They would have had more people if they had a bigger venue, but it's people are angry, people are upset, people are scared. But do something about it.
In light of recent cuts directed by President Trump and Elon Musk, many Democrats are holding town halls in their districts. And the issues range from LGBTQ rights to education. Some voters criticize Democrats for not doing enough.
I'm a longtime Democratic voter, right? But I've really lost faith in the leadership.
Right. I appreciate.
The Democrats play too nice. They got to start playing hardball.
Khanna says many younger Democratic leaders like him are pushing back hard against Trump. Laura hopes it'll be enough to save vital health care programs that will keep patients like her alive.
The most important thing is that we, the people, use our voice.
Khanna says he will do town halls in districts that are held by Republicans. Since Democrats don't have control of Congress, he says they need Republican votes.
So today, Congressman Khanna is in Southern California holding town halls in 3 congressional districts that are represented by Republicans in the House. Coming up after the break, California reaches a milestone with electric vehicle chargers. The number of them available passes the number of gasoline pumps. Plus, how vulnerable are the Bay Area's major bridges in the event of a ship collision, for example? We'll tell you about it in a live interview with a civil engineering professor from a local university. Zoe.
Well, it is a lovely but foggy start to our day across parts of the Bay Area, but don't you worry, especially if you live inland. It is going to be a gorgeous day. Mother Nature just kind of letting us know with that fiery sunrise that temperatures are going to be heating up and even more into early next week. I'll let you know exactly how warm it's going to get, where and when, coming up in just a bit.
Welcome back. It is 6:14 on this Sunday morning. Here's a live look at the San Francisco skyline, looking off into the East Bay. The Bay Bridge twinkling there on the right side of your screen. Again, 6:14. In California, it may now be easier to find an electric vehicle charging station than it is to find a gas pump. With 178,000 EV chargers compared to just 120,000 gas nozzles, the state is rapidly transforming its transportation infrastructure. This expansion includes 1 million home chargers, and retailers are also installing chargers to attract more customers. Listen.
California has done a really good job in making sure they're investing in public chargers being put into the ground.
As the state pushes towards banning the sale of new gas cars by 2035, experts stress the need for a strong renewable energy grid to support the transition, along with advancements in battery technology. And in San Francisco, EV charger company Revel is set to open its first charging station in the city tomorrow. Known for its expansion in New York City, the company will also announce new fast charging projects all around the Bay Area. That includes places in South San Francisco, San Jose, and in Oakland. Now we're talking about a big warm-up coming our way. It is the first weekend of spring, and Zoe is here.
Yes.
And it's beautiful outside, and it's like 80s?
80s early next week. Today's 70s, so
Okay.
don't expect 80s this afternoon, but 70s, yeah, by
Okay.
as soon as today. 80s by as soon as tomorrow, and the 80s going to stick around into Tuesday. So if you have maybe any outdoor activities that you've been wanting to get done, you've been waiting for the warm weather to do so, today is finally the day to get out and about, to enjoy yourself. Early this morning, though, as usual, you still need to grab a jacket, but it's honestly pretty mild out there. We're in the upper 40s to lower 50s, so not that warm winter jacket, and make sure you dress in layers because once again, by this afternoon, we'll be noticing our clouds clearing up quite a lot. There's a bit of fog early this morning. That fog will continue to lift into this afternoon. There will be a bit more of that marine layer holding on tight closer to our coastal communities, which is why closer to the coast it is going to be a couple of degrees cooler. They're only going to be in the upper 50s to low 60s. Here in San Francisco, mid to upper 60s, and then the farther inland you go, the warmer it gets. 70s and mid 70s at that for parts of our inland locations this afternoon. And once again, it's only going to get warmer and warmer from here into tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be in the 80s, like I said. That high pressure is building overhead. You can see it just by the lack of cloud coverage, deflecting all of that moisture off and away from us here in the Bay Area. I do want to show you something really interesting, though. High temperatures this afternoon. They're really not going to be, or they are really going to be spread out depending on where you're located. 61 degrees high temperature at Ocean Beach, and then 71 degrees by the time that you step out past the Oakland Hills. So doesn't take too far to jump about 10 degrees from our coastal communities to our inland areas. Tomorrow, it's only going to get warmer. San Francisco will be in the mid 70s tomorrow afternoon versus mid 60s today, upper 70s into Tuesday before about a 10-degree temperature drop heads our way into Wednesday, including the potential for a little bit of rain late Wednesday and into Thursday. San Jose, like I said, going to be even warmer, not even just 80 degrees, the first 80-degree day of the year, likely Monday. Mid 80s by Tuesday afternoon. Again, enjoy the warm weather while you can because it is not going to last for long. Likely going to be seeing 84 degrees on Monday afternoon, having that be the first 80-degree day of the year. A couple of days ahead of schedule. Normally their first 80-degree day is March 29th in San Jose, but the reason is because of high pressure. It will continue to build overhead, moving directly over the Bay Area Monday and staying over the Bay Area into Tuesday, allowing the heat to continue to build. But you'll notice offshore that moisture will no longer be deflected by the mid to later parts of this upcoming week. So there is the potential for a little bit more activity as we step out mid to late this upcoming week. And then next weekend, it is not going to be nearly as nice as this weekend is. So I highly suggest you get out today. If you weren't able to get out yesterday, or even if you were, you should get out both days this weekend because it's going to be gorgeous. And if maybe you have Monday or Tuesday off early next week, again, plan anything you're doing outdoors because it is going to be gorgeous. Might obviously hot out there for our inland areas in the 80s all the way through Tuesday. Again, I hope you all can enjoy it because those 60s will return by the time that we step out Wednesday and stay in the 60s throughout the later parts of the upcoming week. Even coastal communities, though, if you want to make a beach day, 70 degrees both Monday and Tuesday of this upcoming week. Back to you.
I'm eyeing those 70s on the coast Monday and Tuesday. Thank you for that, Zoe.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Welcome back. It is 6:30 on this Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Max Darrow. On this Sunday morning, we've got Zoe Mintz here. We've got a beautiful sunrise. If you just look, this view behind us is the live look from atop our studios here in San Francisco. It doesn't get better than this.
No, absolutely Gorgeous. The first official weekend of the spring season. Yesterday, if it was too chilly for you, today it's going to be gorgeous. But yesterday was honestly
It was not too
beautiful.
chilly. I was out at Ocean Beach and it was chilly, but still, it was still nice.
Yeah, still nice. And Ocean Beach is probably going to be one of those cooler locations today because we're expecting that coastal marine layer to hold on tight throughout this afternoon, and it's going to keep their temperatures just a few degrees cooler. Right now, though, if you want to open up your windows, let the first light of this Sunday fun day in, I highly suggest it. It's a mild start to our day as well. So it's chilly, yes, upper 40s to low 50s, but it is not feeling that bitter chill that we definitely have in the past couple of mornings. So get ready for a beautiful day. We're already starting off on a mild note and again going to continue to warm up significantly higher than yesterday by about 5 to 10 degrees across most of the Bay Area, 70s across our inland locations and down into the Santa Clara Valley, mid to upper 60s here in San Francisco. But like I said, we are expecting a little bit more cloud coverage to hold on tight to our coastal communities. And that's going to keep those temperatures just a bit cooler. So something to keep your eye on. If you were planning on making today a beach day, might not be the greatest day for it. Tomorrow, though, is going to be a lot nicer with plenty of sunshine from our coastal communities all the way to our inland areas. Again, early this morning, we're just dealing with a little bit of that fog out there, but I kind of want to show you just how quickly the temperatures warm up when you get away from the coast. Ocean Beach, low 60s. You head over to Oakland Hills, upper 60s to low 70s. So just take a drive inland if you really want to feel the warmer weather, or wait until tomorrow. I'll let you know just how warm it's going to get and where coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
Thank you, Zoe. Pope Francis made his first public appearance today following 5 weeks in the hospital. The Pope was discharged just a short time ago after treatment for double pneumonia and acute respiratory failure. As CBS's Christian Benavides reports, the road to recovery isn't over just yet.
Prior to being discharged after a 5-week hospitalization, Pope Francis blessed the faithful from his 10th floor suite at the hospital, his first appearance since being admitted for double pneumonia last month.
The Holy Father, at the time of his admission to Gemelli Hospital, presented an acute respiratory failure.
He is returning to his residence, Santa Marta, at the Vatican. Catholics around the world have rejoiced, from Rome to his native Argentina. Up until today, this picture of Francis celebrating Mass at a small chapel inside Gemelli Hospital was the most recent image of the pontiff, and this recorded message, thanking for prayers, was the last time we'd heard from Pope Francis.
Con I fiori gialli. Che brava.
This hospitalization was marked by a roller coaster of setbacks, including respiratory crises, mild kidney failure, and several coughing fits. The road to recovery will be a long one. The medical director at Gemelli Hospital said during his stay, Francis twice presented critical episodes during which his life was in danger.
The Holy Father was never intubated, and he always remained alert and oriented.
Doctors say the Pope will need continued speech therapy after prolonged use of high-flow oxygen and will need at least 2 months of rest and rehabilitation after he returns to the Vatican.
Taking a look around the world now, in Turkey, on a 4th night of protests in Istanbul escalated into clashes between police and demonstrators following the detention of the city's mayor. Riot police deployed tear gas and pepper spray to disperse the crowds while protesters threw objects and set off flares. In response, authorities extended a ban on gatherings until March 26th and imposed vehicle restrictions to prevent further unrest. Despite these efforts, thousands of people gathered outside the courthouse. That's where Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu faced questioning over corruption and alleged ties to the Kurdistan Workers' Party. Today, a Turkish court ordered him jailed ahead of a trial on corruption charges. The ruling, which does not involve separate terrorism accusations, also applies to 4 of his aides. Critics say the move is politically motivated, aimed at eliminating one of the president's strongest opponents in the next election.
It is a beautiful start to our morning out there, and I hope everybody can enjoy some sunshine after this fog clears in the afternoon. The temperature is continuing to warm up. Ooh, it's a beautiful shot from Treasure Island looking towards San Francisco. Again, it's foggy to kick off our day, but these foggy conditions will continue to burn off this afternoon. I'll let you know just how warm it's going to get and how long these warm conditions will stick around coming up in just a bit.
Welcome back. Here's a live look from our camera-topped Sutro Tower. You can see the Salesforce Tower above the fog belt there. The time now is 6:38. The National Transportation Safety Board says 68 bridges across 19 states should get a so-called vulnerability assessment. The point is to determine the risk of collapse from a ship collision like we saw last year in that deadly incident in Baltimore. 6 Bay Area spans are on that list. That includes the Golden Gate Bridge, Richmond-San Rafael Bridge, and San Mateo Bridge, to name a few. Joining us now is Tracy Abbott, a professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at Santa Clara University. Tracy, good morning. Thanks for being with us today.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
So, Tracy, we have to stress the bridges are not at imminent risk of collapse. We cannot stress that enough. But nonetheless, it's no small thing to be on this list. What was your initial reaction when you found out that there were these 6 Bay Area bridges on this big list of ones in need of a vulnerability assessment?
Well, I think it's reasonable to have a look at the status of the bridges. All of these bridges were built prior to the current recommendations for checking about vessel collisions with bridges, but it doesn't mean that they weren't designed with that in mind. So I think that the only thing that's new here really is the Baltimore Bridge collapse that happened about a year ago. And because of that, the NTSB is having a look again at all of the bridges in the country to see if this could potentially be an issue. What this study has done is not said that there is a problem, but just said that they should have a look again based on the most recent standards to see if it qualifies as a bridge that even has a problem. So it's definitely not something I think people should be worried about safety. This is just all about early planning and seeing if there are any issues that they should, any red flags that they should look at. But there aren't any yet.
Well, that's good to hear. Proactive is what we like to hear. So if you were the one who was going to be conducting a vulnerability assessment or just looking into the status of these bridges, what would you be curious to know?
Well, again, all of these bridges were designed with bridge and vessel collisions being considered. So what I would want to know is what protective measures have been taken. We don't generally design bridges to be strong enough for a large cargo ship to hit the bridge. That would be like something the size of a skyscraper coming and hitting the bridge. What we mainly focus on is diverting the ships or putting in sacrificial barriers like a crash cushion that the ship would hit first so that it doesn't hit the bridge. And this has actually happened twice in recent history with the San Francisco Bay Bridge in 2007 and in 2013. The west span of the San Francisco Bridge, one of the towers was hit by a cargo ship. It did damage to the barrier, but the bridge itself was fine. So it's kind of like the bumper on your car. It's an element that it's okay if that gets crushed, but the rest of the bridge is safe.
Finally, why do you think the NTSB is really pushing for this now? So this federal agency has an understanding of bridges, say, here in the Bay Area and elsewhere.
Well, I think part of why they're looking at it now, in addition to the Baltimore Bridge collapse that happened, is that the current requirements from the code, from the Federal Highway Administration and from AASHTO, require for new bridges, they have this risk assessment done. But for any bridges that were built prior to 1990s, it's not a requirement. So NTSB is just recommending that these bridges be looked at again with the latest standards to see if there's an issue.
We really appreciate the time this morning. Tracy Abbott of Santa Clara University, thank you for that. And thank you for also reassuring people that this is a proactive measure and not something that they should be concerned about. Now, we do want to also mention that we did get updates from the Golden Gate Highway Authority that does monitor the bridge. If we can scroll that prompter down, we have a statement from them that we will get to in a moment. There it is. Okay, after the NTSB report came out, the Golden Gate Bridge District did say it is in full compliance with the... All right, we're having some issues here with the prompter here. We're going to get to that in just a moment. We're going to switch gears and go to the weather now. Let's talk with First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz now about what weather we could be seeing here in the Bay Area. We've got a warm up on the way. We've got possible good beach days coming.
Oh, beautiful weather's on the way. The nicest weather of the entire year. First 80-degree day of 2025 likely.
Wow.
Tomorrow. 70s though today. So if you liked yesterday, I know you
did,
said you enjoyed the day outdoors. I hope you can enjoy it outside as well today. It's going to be even warmer out there and started early. Look at the sunrise behind us. It is absolutely gorgeous. Again, I hope you can get outside and enjoy yourself this afternoon. Temperatures warming up all across the Bay Area, especially for our more inland locations that are going to be seeing plenty of sunshine as high pressure is building overhead. 70s across the inland areas and down into the Santa Clara Valley. Upper 60s for us here in San Francisco and upper 50s to low 60s closer to our coastal communities as they'll be seeing that marine layer holding on tight throughout this afternoon. While the fog might take a little bit longer to clear for areas around the bay, it is still going to be mostly sunny. This is our view at 2 p.m. But in our coastal communities, that's where you'll be seeing a little bit more of that cloud coverage. So if you were hoping for a beach day and maybe you have tomorrow off, I would highly suggest waiting until tomorrow because it is going to be even warmer by tomorrow afternoon. Overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning, it might be a degree or two cooler than what we felt this morning because of those clear skies and dry conditions. By tomorrow afternoon, though, with the clear skies and dry conditions, look at how much warmer it's going to get. 80s, these deeper and darker red colors filling in the Bay Area. 81 degrees forecast high in San Jose, and we'll likely be in the mid-70s here in San Francisco. And look at the coastal communities from Pacifica down to Half Moon Bay, 70 degrees. It is going to be a gorgeous day outside tomorrow for the beach weather. Today, if you want to head to the beach again, you will be seeing a little bit more of that cloud coverage. So that's just something to keep your eyes on, depending on what your plans are for this afternoon. But high pressure is going to be the dominant factor through the next several days. You can see that area of high pressure just by the lack of cloud coverage. It's deflecting all of the moisture up across the Pacific Northwest, and it's going to continue to allow the warm up. Today is going to be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than yesterday. Tomorrow, about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than today as that area of high pressure moves directly over the Bay Area, and those well above average temperatures sticking around into Tuesday. But it's not going to last much longer than that. You'll notice along our coastal communities, a lot more cloud coverage and that band of rain. That band of rain will be heading our way by Wednesday. So cool down mid to late week and the potential for more rain. So let's enjoy these really calm winds, these really warm conditions today, tomorrow, and into Tuesday while we can. Even upper 70s Tuesday afternoon in San Francisco and potentially upper 80s down into the Santa Clara Valley. Again, a big cool down will arrive though by Wednesday and into Thursday, and I hope you all can enjoy this quick little peek of almost feeling like summer out there. Again, Wednesday and into Thursday, that will be our next chance for rain. And then next weekend, just to kind of give you all a sneak peek of 1 week from today, there is going to be a lot more active weather. So if you've been waiting for a weekend to get out and enjoy yourself, please do so this weekend because next weekend, I have no guarantees for you. Today, tomorrow, Tuesday, those are the next 3 days. Enjoy the well above average temperatures while you can. Cooler weather and the potential for rain arrives Wednesday and stays below average through the later parts of the week and into next weekend. Back to you.
All righty. Thank you, Zoe. And we do want to give you that update on the bridges. After the NTSB report came out, the Golden Gate Bridge District said it is in full compliance with all state and federal regulations. It also says it has one of the most robust ship collision protection systems of any bridge on the entire West Coast. Then for its part, the Metropolitan Transportation Commission says it is working with several other agencies on a new assessment of vessel traffic. Their hope is to better calculate the risks to all of the state-owned toll bridges. It does say for the Bay Bridge, this could lead to new plans for strengthening the fenders at the base of the towers. All righty.
With your left hand on the neck.
A Contra Costa County woman brings the gift of music to foster and at-risk children every week, providing benefits from self-expression and confidence to healing from trauma. Sharon Chin introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner.
When she's not performing with her fiancé as part of the Breed Loves acoustic duo, Barbara Gorin finds her heartbeat among children.
They're a whole new crop of rock stars, right? There are all these kids have never played guitar before, most likely. Thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate it.
At the San Pablo Library, Barbara and her volunteers unwrap musical equipment like brand new guitars bought at discount by fundraising dollars or donated.
You guys are gonna hold the guitar with your left hand on the neck.
Barbara leads free guitar lessons through Guitars Not Guns. The Colorado-based nonprofit uses music to divert 8 to 18-year-old foster and at-risk children away from gangs and violence.
We want to help these children. We want to give them something fun to do, encouraging to do. You gotta really push down hard.
Barbara got tuned in to volunteering for Guitars Not Guns after retiring from 30 years' work at a law firm. She's led the Contra Costa County chapter and served on the national board for more than 10 years, helping kids explore the magic of music. Cynthia Quatso enrolled her 8-year-old son, Lucas Roman.
I'm hoping for him to learn to play a song and, be good.
I like to ask questions a lot because, I just want to keep knowing. And then I also play trumpet, and I'm pretty good.
Don't let the guitar pick take over you. You're in control of the guitar pick.
More than 60 Contra Costa County children took the 8-lesson series last year, mostly at public libraries. Graduating students gain confidence and showcase their music skills in a concert, and they get to keep the guitar. For Lucas, the lessons strike a new chord and a new callus.
Pretty good. I feel like I'm learning more.
And they're learning fast.
That's me again, singing sweet songs.
By the end of the first class, they're strumming along with Barbara and teachers like longtime volunteer Stephen Kennedy.
She cares so much about the kids, and she cares so much about seeing that they have a music education. We're trying to change violence one kid at a time.
Music means life to me. It's everything that I could not imagine my life without music.
So for giving at-risk and foster children a positive place to learn and grow through Guitars Not Guns, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Barbara Gorin.
It is 6:55, time now for a look at some of the headlines of the day. The Oakland Roots soccer team debuted at the Coliseum in front of 26,000 fans, marking the return of live sports there after the A's left. The game honored A's legend Rickey Henderson with a jersey retirement tribute. The Roots will play 17 more home games this season, with potential playoff games to follow. In a few hours, the VTA Board of Directors will hold a special closed session meeting with union leaders. With the strike entering its third week, both sides will appear in court on Wednesday. A judge recently denied the VTA's request for a restraining order to halt the strike. Pope Francis made his first public appearance today after 5 weeks in the hospital. He had double pneumonia. He blessed the faithful before returning to the Vatican. Doctors say his recovery will take time and will require speech therapy and 2 months of rest. Zoe.
Well, a big warm-up is on the way starting today. 70s inland, likely our first 80-degree day of the year by tomorrow, and then getting into the low 80s by Tuesday. Enjoy the warm weather while you can. It's a little sneak peek of summer, honestly, before a cool down heads our way by Wednesday and into the later parts of the upcoming week, bringing us the potential for more rain. So yes, max rain is on the way, which is really good news, but we have a couple of days of warm weather to get through. Outdoor activities are a must through Tuesday.
We love the forecast. Thank you for that, Zoe. In an extraordinary twist, Australian researchers have recently uncovered a remarkable fossil.
Yeah, and it's a boulder containing 66 dinosaur footprints, hiding in plain sight for nearly 2 decades at a high school in Queensland. The footprints dating back to about 200 million years to the early Jurassic period were discovered through advanced 3D imaging. The prints belonging to small herbivorous dinosaurs suggest that the creatures were either crossing or traveling a river.
An
Yeah, you try to say it.
Herbivorous. Herbivorous dinosaur. The find represents one of the highest concentrations of dinosaur footprints ever documented in Australia, providing valuable insight into the behavior and movement of dinosaurs from that era. The research was published in the Historical Biology earlier this month. Fascinating stuff there from Queensland in Australia, and difficult words to say.
Yeah.
6:45 in the morning.
Can you imagine going to high school every day and not knowing that there's dinosaur tracks behind your high school?
That'd be so cool.
It's so cool. I mean, I hope that they put it in a museum somewhere and none of the kids like defaced it beforehand.
That would not be good. But, you know, hopefully they do preserve it the right way. But great discovery there. Thanks for joining us today. CBS Sunday Morning with Jane Pauly's coming up next on KPIX. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. Have a great Sunday.